As a Marine in the world of One Piece, rising to the rank of Admiral is not an easy thing to do. The rank of Admiral is only given to those who have proven themselves to be one of the strongest weapons that the Navy has. However, for Sakatsuki Akainu, the rank of Admiral was not enough. When the rank of Fleet Admiral became available, Akainu used his strength to prove that he was the most qualified for the rank. But exactly how much power makes a Fleet Admiral? That, my dear Marines and Pirates, is what we're going to calculate today. So, grab an ice-cold drink as we enter the fiery inferno that is the power of Marine Fleet Admiral Akainu. Hello Internet, Jojo here, and today we get to talk about the Lava Lord himself, the man who burns hotter than the sun in the middle of July, the man whose hobby is making donuts, Marine Admiral Akainu. Now, while most people hate him, and for good reason, the man's a horrible person, he's actually my favorite of the Marine Admirals. Of course, when I say favorite, it's the same way that someone would say Hisoka is their favorite character in Hunter x Hunter. Anyways, despite what you think of Akainu, there's no debate that he is powerful. His devil fruit, the Magu no Mi, or Magma fruit in English, boasts having one of the highest offensive powers among all devil fruits. That is not to say that it is the strongest, but it has never failed to hurt an opponent no matter how strong they are. This fact alone implies that its power is more the ability to hurt anyone rather than the ability to cause the most destruction. Essentially, it's a devil fruit version of advanced armament hockey. However, while he can burn at temperatures well above 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit, much above typical fire, his most notable ability is that of creating magma. Akainu uses his devil fruit to turn himself into magma and throw massive magma punches. The ability to create lava or magma is incredibly overpowered, as mass is equal to energy, and this means that every time he throws a huge punch, he's actually producing far more power than you might think. Now, as always, let's start out small and find the power that he must produce to turn himself into magma, and then we'll end with his greatest attack. To find how much power Akainu would need to turn himself into lava, we first need to find out how much volume Akainu has. Akainu stands at 306 centimeters tall, that's over 10 feet, and is 55 years old. Wait, he's 55? I mean, guys, come on, he aged really well. Seriously, Akainu was one scary old man. Anyways, a man this old and this tall should have an ideal weight of around 234.1 kilograms. This weight, height, and age should yield a volume of about 0.23 cubic meters. Magma has a density of about 2,500 kilograms per cubic meter, meaning that Akainu, while lava, must weigh around 575 kilograms. Plugging this into E equals mc squared, and we discover that to turn himself into lava, he would need to produce about 12.35 gigatons of TNT. This is not nearly as much power as Blackbeard or Whitebeard, but it's still pretty respectable. Next up is his most flashy attack, when he vaporizes this giant block of ice. Now, we are not going to talk about the energy to vaporize the iceberg itself, as it's not particularly relevant or, noteworthy. This attack is at an odd angle, but we can look at this panel to get all we need. So, in this panel, we discover that Akainu's fist is about 3,603 centimeters long and had a fist diameter of 1,200 centimeters. Because this attack is in the shape of a cone, we can put these numbers into the proper formula and find that Akainu produced about 1.36 billion cubic centimeters of mass. This many cubic centimeters of mass equals about 1,360 cubic meters. So, multiplying that volume by the density of magma, and we get a mass of 4,075,000 kilograms. This is about 700,000 more kilograms than the Seattle Space Needle, and Akainu would need to produce about 87.534 teratons of TNT in order to create all of this mass. The thing is, this is not even close to an outlier by any means. In his fight with Blackbeard, Ace, another Logia user with similar powers, created this giant sun. Taking Ace's height, outlining the shape, and we find that this sun had a volume of about 633 million cubic centimeters. And because the sun has a density of 1.41 grams per cubic centimeter, Ace made about 892,530,000 grams. For Ace to make this sun, he had to have produced over 19 teratons of TNT, and we know that Akainu is significantly stronger. Next up, we have a more subtle feat. When Buggy was carrying Luffy and Jinbei through the sky, Akainu threw a punch at him. comparing Jinbei to the fist, and this fist must have a base of 1,130 centimeters. And this is all fine, but what really jacks up the power is the fact that this punch was thrown from ground level. Using Buggy's nose, and assuming that the largest person down there is Akainu, we find that they are about 819 meters up. So, using this 11.3 meters as the base, and the 819 meters as its length, as well as assuming that it's a cone shape, and this punch would have had a volume of 27,422 cubic meters. Applying the 2,500 kilograms per cubic meter density, and Akainu would have needed to produce 1,472.62 teratons of TNT. Yet again, this is not even close to an outlier, as we can compare Akainu to the Emperor Big Mom's minion, Prometheus. When Big Mom was chasing the Straw Hat Pirates, she used her powers to increase Prometheus' size by many times. Big Mom stands at 880 centimeters tall, and by using her as a ruler, we find that this giant sun would be about 765 billion cubic centimeters. As we said before, the sun has a density of about 1.41 grams per cubic meter. This gives Prometheus a mass of 1.07865 trillion grams and would require Big Mom to produce 23.17 petatons of TNT. Now, Akainu should not be directly on par with Big Mom, but considering that he is now the Fleet Admiral and his Delph fruit is stated to have top tier offensive abilities, he should be comparable to at least a decent fraction. Also, this is probably one of Big Mom's least impressive large-scale feats. That said, we can also confirm this scaling by taking a look at what he did on Punk Hazard. While the most obvious thing will be this crater, I am more interested in these volcanoes. See, Punk Hazard was not a volcanic island, and that means that Akainu literally had to force the creation of these volcanoes. He had to pull lava from the earth itself up to the surface. This means that we would need to find the rock volume affected, and to do that, we need to find the volcano's mouth width, the depth, and the number of volcanoes. First things first, we need to find the size of the island. Brownbeard stands at 6.19 meters. So comparing him to the crater, then the crater to this depiction of Punk Hazard, we can find that on average, these volcanoes have a mouth width of 190 meters. That covers the first of the things we need to know, but we still need the depth. If this was a volcanic island, then it would make sense that there's lava about 1 to 10 kilometers below the surface. But this is not a volcanic island, meaning that Akainu likely pulled this lava from the lowest layer of the Earth's mantle 2,900 kilometers below the surface. This actually makes a lot of sense because while other volcanoes will eventually stop erupting, Akainu's have been constantly erupting for 2 years. Also, don't forget that this is using the Earth's dimensions. The One Piece planet is much larger and the lava should be much farther down. So, taking the volcano's mouth width and depth to the lava, we find that Akainu must be pulling about 82.8 billion cubic meters of lava. As we mentioned before, lava has a density of about 2,500 kilograms per cubic meter. So comparing the volume and density, we find that Akainu likely pulled 207 trillion kilograms of lava for just one volcano. Now, as to the speed he pulled the lava at. Guys, this is anime, so probably what happened is that Akainu flexed really hard and the volcanoes exploded behind him, but we will go with it taking about 10 seconds to pull the lava from the ground. For lava to cover 2,900 kilometers in 10 seconds, it would need to be moving at about 648,000 miles per hour. So, this much lava moving at 648,000 miles per hour would have a kinetic energy of 2,080 teratons of TNT, or 4,161 teratons of TNT for all 8 volcanoes. Of course, the vast majority of Akainu's feats come from before the time skip, and he also does scale the characters like Z, Kizaru, Aokiji, Don Chinjiao, and Doflamingo. So, he is likely in a tier higher than this. But I just want to talk about Akainu's feats in this video. I'm sure someday that I'll get to talk about how overpowered Z is, but not today. Of course, Akainu's max power is likely to change when we get to see him fight again. He would be much stronger than how he was during Marineford. That said, for those of you following the manga, you know that we are approaching the 1000th chapter very quickly. And because it's kind of a big deal, I have a massive video planned on Luffy. I'm going to calculate chronologically Luffy's most impressive feats of power from start all the way up to chapter 1000. I made a video calculating Luffy's power a while back, but this one's going to have far more feats in it. In short, it's going to put any other video that has ever been made about Luffy's strength to shame. Then after that video, I'll make a video calculating the power of his haki, because having already calculated it, I can say that Conqueror's haki is nuts like you wouldn't believe. So if that interests you at all, then make sure that you are subscribed and have your notifications on. You won't regret it. Other than that, guys, I got nothing. So, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Remember to stay spectacular. JoJo, out.